Hello and welcome to Wednesday Live with Evie, number 17, I believe. And today's topic is the getting things done productivity misconception. The getting all the things done, getting more things done productivity misconception. And I'll break that down just a little bit. But before we get started, as I'm waiting for more people to join us live, I see we have a couple of people, so that's fabulous. If you want to say hi below, so I know you're here, that would be great. But what I want to share with you first is, if you're new to me or if you haven't already, head over to oneinsightcloser.com, and there you will find a freebie called How to Choose Priorities When Everything is Important. And it's a really great tool to kind of walk you through brain dumping things and prioritizing them. So if you sign up over there, you'll get that. The people who have got it really like it. I know my friend Missy said that it was like she hit the reset button, and she just loved it. So head over there and get that. And also, if you are a woman watching this, head over to the Facebook group Productivity for Women Entrepreneurs and ask to join. If you're not already a member over there, I would love to have you over there. It's a great place where if there's a conversation that you want to have and take a little deeper and you're comfortable with it not being a private message, but maybe also not just being out at Facebook, for everybody to see, it's a great place to be and to share more about the questions you have or what's going on for you in your business. And it's also a great place to share the fun stuff that you have going on. So, what I didn't say is who I am. So my name is Evie Burke. I am the mindset mentor and success coach at One Insight Closer, and what I do is I help women entrepreneurs just like you take productivity to a new level, so at the end of the day they can be fully present with the people that they love. And that might be family, that might be a significant other, or some nights it might just be you yourself, where you can just sit and unplug from your business and just enjoy yourself. So I am going to share this so that the people who want to see it can find it. So this is always interesting because I can only ever figure out how to share it one or two places at once. So we'll see how that goes. So in the meantime, I would love to know what you found. And hi Trisha, I saw you were there. And anyone else who wants to say hi, please go ahead and do that. But I would love to know, what about today's conversation interested you? What was it that made you say, oh, this is something that I want to learn more about? Do you have a question, or hi Heather, or something that I'm trying to share it into the event. There we go. So we'll just share it there for now. So this is one of the rare times where I didn't really prepare any notes for this topic. It came from a conversation I had yesterday with a fellow business owner as we were just chatting, getting to know each other some more. And she was asking me about my business and what I did, and she was like, oh yeah, getting things done and getting more things done is important in our business. And she didn't mean it this way, but it occurred to me that a lot of times when we're talking about productivity, we do talk about how do we get more done in a day, how do we tick those boxes off, and that's what we think of. And a lot of times that is some of what we want to do. We want to get more done. We want to, make sure that we're using our time efficiently. And there's more to it than that. You go one layer deeper, and there's also the part about, am I doing the right things? Am I running around, getting lots of stuff done, but it's not really the important things? Or Am I really working on the things that are going to move my business forward? It's, looking at things like procrastination. And is it productive procrastination where, man, you're getting a lot of those boxes ticked off and a lot of those little things that have been, hanging out there for a long time, those tasks that have been hanging out there for a long time, you're getting those checked off, but maybe you're not getting the really important one checked off, the one that you know that when you do that, it's going to make a difference. You're going to move your business farther. Or sometimes, those big things that cause the productive procrastination are even the things like taxes, right? Taxes are coming up. And so we're doing everything else so we don't have to go and do the bookkeeping that we haven't been doing, or look at the receipts and pull all those together. So productive procrastination is when we're getting lots of things done, but we're not getting the important things done, for one reason or the other. And also in the second layer with productive procrastination is the unproductive procrastination. The watching, for me, it's always watching YouTube, playing games on my phone. There's a third one that's escaping my head, but those are the things that I know that if I'm spending a lot of time doing those things, then I'm procrastinating about something. And the first place I look is, am I getting enough sleep? And then I start to dig deeper. But there's more layers to productivity than getting more things done, scheduling your week, looking at procrastination. There's a part that I don't think gets talked about maybe enough, because it's not as, Heather says, I really feel my life is productive procrastination. Yeah, that can really happen sometimes. But that third level of productivity isn't talked about as much, I think, because it's harder to do, and it's harder to immediately notice what's happening with it. So the third level is mindset. It's the, how do you feel about your business? How do you feel about the things that you need to do when you look at those tasks? How do you feel about those? What are the thoughts and the emotions and all of that? What are the things that come up for you? And it's the difference, it can be the difference between, I'm going to say the same sentence, but I want you to listen for the difference in the sentence, okay? And think about, who do you want to work with? And what do you hear as the difference between the people who would say these two sentences? Like, what's going on for them? So one of them is, oh, I'm so busy. And then the other one is, oh, I'm so busy. So there's the first way, which is, a little more upbeat. There was a smile on my face. I think I was sitting up straight. And then there was the second way, where I was slouched down and not upbeat and maybe feeling a little defeated. Who do you want to work with? You want to work with the person that's, oh, I'm so busy, and they're excited about it, and they're looking forward to the things that they're getting to do in their business. And then the second person is somebody who you might commiserate with and go, oh yeah, I know, and talk with, but they're looking at all the things that they have to do, and it's frustrating and it's overwhelming, and it's a completely natural place to be. But think about who you want to work with. You want to work with the first person, right? You want to work with the person who's excited about the things that are happening in their business and excited about the busyness. I say busyness, but I hope you know what I mean by that, not just like flittering around, but they're just excited by the things they get to do in their business. And the second person isn't. And even subconsciously, we might be thinking, oh, well, I don't want to give, person number two more to do. I don't want to be one of those tasks on their list that they're frustrated about, and they're, running all over the place feeling overwhelmed. I don't want to to give them more to do if they're already so busy. And that though can be the surface. So think about how you look at the things that you're doing. Are you excited about them? When you look at your business and where it's going and the things that you want to do to get you to where you're going, are you excited about it? Are you looking at it and you're like, oh, look at the fun things I need to do. I wish there was more time in the day so I could get everything done. Or I know it's all going to work out and isn't that fabulous? Or are you looking at it going, oh, there's so much to do. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm never going to get all of this stuff done. I don't know why I try. You know, how are you looking at that? How are you showing up in that? And as I'm talking through this, I would really love to know what questions or thoughts you have on this. I see that there's a few people on, so hello to those of you who have joined and haven't said hello. I'm glad you're here. Feel free to, you know, hit the thumbs up or the hearts if you're getting something from this. Feel free to, you know, share your questions or your thoughts in the comments. So, oh, I see, I'm not sure who it was, but I see I got a thumbs up, so that's fabulous. So, it was Sharon. Hi, Sharon. With this, and a heart from Heather. Notice when you're looking at the things that you want to do, how is it feeling? How are you coming across? Oh, hi, Billy Joe. What's going on for you? And it doesn't mean that everything is going to change immediately, but if you start to notice where it just feels like you're going through, you know, knee-deep thick mud, notice it and then start to think about, how can I switch this? There are some things you can do, like noticing, of course, is the first thing to do. The second thing to think about is, what language are you using? And it's thinking about how can you start changing that language. So instead of, oh, I have to do this, you know, starting to go, oh, you know, these are the things I get to do today. So there's energy in our words, you know, so have to, must, you know, those can really feel like draining, lower energy words, where when you start using words like I get to, I choose to, those are higher energy, right? They have more energy available to them. So start switching your language. And I don't know if any studies have been done on this, but I think sometimes, and I'm not a huge fan of the wording, but it gets across what I mean here. It's all about faking it until you're making it. So I know in the studies that have been done around happiness psychology, there's a couple of things. So one is, if you smile, even if you're not feeling happy, if you smile, it still releases the signals in your body that you're happy. And as a result, you get happier. The other one is, you know, gratitude journals, or even when you notice that you're in a really dark place, just thinking about the things that you're grateful for. And the frustration and the overwhelm can't exist, those feelings can't exist in the same space as happiness, as gratitude. So the caveat here is, you still need to feel your feelings, you still need to acknowledge them. So I think sometimes people look at happiness psychology and these tips and tricks and they use it as a way to stuff their feelings, and that's not healthy. Negative emotions aren't necessarily even negative. They're emotions. They're giving you information about what's going on for you, and they need to be acknowledged and they need to be felt. That doesn't mean that you need to wallow in them, but you need to allow yourself to feel them, whether that's anger or sadness or whatever it is. One of the things Billy Joe says here is she likes to think about things in terms of it's done. We talk about it like that. Yeah, so there's actually a book that was written on this. I have the dust jacket for it right now. Oh, it's going to be flipped, so you're not going to see it, but that's how it looks. If I switch this here. Oh, you're getting my light. So it's by Daniel Barrett and Joe Vitale, and I'm pronouncing his name wrong, and it's called The Remembering Process. I'm about halfway through it right now. Oop. But the whole process that this book walks you through is remembering things. And like I said, I'm halfway through it. I've heard Daniel talk about it before. And he's a musician. And so the way that he writes his music when he gets to a spot where he's stuck is he, puts himself a month in the future. And, at that future part, he thinks about what it was like to write that piece of music. And he remembers writing it. And he'll pick up, little bits and pieces of what the melody or, whatever piece of it is that he's working on needs to be, and that'll give him enough to get going. And so he's written, things like that. And he's worked with Joe Vitale and taught him that process, and that's how the book came about. So one of the interesting things about, and I know I'm off topic here, so bear with me, but one of the interesting things about this is it's not going like a year in the future and writing down every single, you're walking through your day. When he talks about it, he says it's kind of like remembering a dream. So, you're 3 months or a year in the future, and you're remembering bits and pieces of things. So you're not remembering all of the details, but you're remembering, when I did that, I was listening to this music, or this was going on. I remember getting really excited because I figured out this part of this program or problem or XYZ that I was trying to figure out. So he remembers bits and pieces of it, and he would write it down. It's an interesting book. If you haven't read it, I would say go and get it. It's a really cool read. But yes, that's a good way to think of it too, is think of it in terms of already done. Still notice what your energy is around that. Like, are you excited about it, or is it like, oh, it's so much to do? And the other thing I want to say here is, when you're thinking about those tasks and the ones that feel like, oh, I just have so much to do, sometimes you're low energy around those tasks because they're just not your genius work. They're not the things that you're excited to do. And so notice that. So like for me, I'm bookkeeping. Not my favorite thing to do, and I'm doing it right now, but I know in the future that's something that I want to hire somebody to do because I don't enjoy it. And yes, I can look at it and go, when there's more bookkeeping to do, going, oh, isn't that great? Look how well my business is going. And I know it's not where I want to spend my time a lot of times, so recognizing that is also important. There was something else I wanted to say about this. I think most of you who watch these get that mindset colors everything. That how you approach something, what your mindset is going to color everything. And if you don't get it, that's fine. You know, give me a call or private message me and we'll talk about it. So knowing where you are and what you want to work on can be just super important, because it can be the difference of, so there's a lot of things going through my head right now. One of the things I do with my clients, my private clients, is the Energy Leadership Index assessment and debrief. And what that does is it gives you take the online assessment, and it gives you a snapshot of what your mindset is right now. And it's like a map, right? So when you have a map and you're able to say, this is where I am, and this is what this assessment does, is it says this is where you are, and it gives you a map for what the train looks like. Once you know that, you can start to think about, where do I want to be? So there's lots of things that color mindset though, and you're never fully at one spot. So even like anger, if you think about anger and, everything that goes along with that, there's still other things that color it, right? So let's say that your mom gives you a call and says, hey, can you come over and help me with XYZ? And you're busy, you're working your business. So how do you respond to that? How it's work hours. Do you drop everything and head over there? Do you say, well, I'm working right now, but I'll come over later? Or do you just tell her no? And the interesting thing is that your mindset and your energy don't dictate those three options. Like, you could have any mindset and do any of those things. So a lot of it also has to do with values. So if family comes first all the time and your business is important, then you might say, hey mom, I'm going to come over, but it's going to be later. And also the energy with that is, are you frustrated by it? You're like, oh, she's bothering me again. I never have a day without interruptions. Why can't these people just leave me alone for a little while? Why don't they take my business seriously? Like, are you going down that path, or are you going, oh great, I get to see my mom today and I get to help her out and that's really exciting. So that's really where mindset comes into play. It's not in what you respond, but in how you respond. So in this instance, the what is when or if you head over there, and your mindset plays a part in that, but it's a smaller part. It's the how you respond. Mom's asking you to head over there, and are you frustrated and annoyed? Are you excited that you get to help her out? Or are you like, that's great. Let's see what works here for us. Where are you with that? How do you respond? I'm kind of going in circles now, it sounds like. So I'm going to close things up. But again, the title today was the Getting Stuff Done Productivity Misconception. And really what that is, we're not machines meant to just get things done. There's a lot of layers to our lives, to our businesses, and when we make productivity only about how much am I getting done, or even am I getting the important things done, sometimes we miss the nuances of how we're getting things done, and how we react to them. So take a look at how you're responding to things, how you're reacting to things, and notice where you are and what you might want to change. Because productivity isn't just, and I'm looking at, so Sharon, who's commenting in here, is my aunt, and she's a nurse, and she works in nursing homes, and so I'm thinking about that because it's, and I'm guessing, we haven't had this conversation, but I'm guessing she would agree with me that as a nurse, productivity isn't about how many people can I, get through, or, get their medicine, or, whatever through the day, but how are they being treated? How are they feeling interacted with? That there's that other layer there. So for those of you that most of you here that have your own businesses, think about how are you getting things done, and not even like the planning tools, but how are you choosing priorities? How are you feeling about the things that you're doing, and how can you shift that? And if you want help with that, please reach out and let me know, because that's the mindset piece colors everything. And when you're able to have an up-leveled, when you work on yourself and shift that mindset, more things do get done. Priorities shift into place a little bit easier. And it doesn't, I'm going to get sidetracked again. So anyway, this was Wednesday Live with Evie, number 17. Again, my name's Evie Burke, and I work with entrepreneurs just like you, and I help them take their productivity to a new level. And if you're interested in learning more about that, reach out to me, and I'd love to share it with you. So until next week, much love. Bye.